If you're thinking about moving to Chattanooga, I'm going to give you 7 reasons you may not like living here. Welcome back. This is Robert C. Baker with Move to Chattanooga and Crowlite Realtors, where we teach you everything you need to know about relocating to Chattanooga, Tennessee. Now stick around because reason number 1 may surprise you. Before I forget, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave your comments below. Number 7. If you hate the fall, you may not like living in Chattanooga. Chattanooga has some of the most beautiful fall foliage. That's due in part to the number of tree varieties we have. According to the University of Tennessee's Agricultural Extension Service, we have red, silver, and sugar maples, dogwood, sassafras, and persimmons, and for greenery, eastern white pines and eastern hemlocks. Now, be forewarned, if we have a very dry summer, then our fall foliage may not be as colorful. And if it's super dry, then you'll begin to see leaves drop to the ground, and the fall foliage won't be as spectacular as it usually is. Thankfully, however, we do have quite a bit of rain in the fall, so you're bound to see some beautiful fall colors. Number 6. If you hate community involvement or charitable giving, you may not like living in Chattanooga. According to Cause IQ, Chattanooga has nearly 3,000 nonprofit organizations that generate nearly $2 billion in revenue each year. These organizations include hospitals, high schools and colleges, churches and synagogues, but also community clinics and centers for the developmentally disabled. There's also specific charities for physical rehabilitation and for the care of veterans. Civic organizations and clubs in Chattanooga offer not only moral, but also generous monetary support for various and local nonprofits that they sponsor. Long story short, if you love helping others, you will love living in Chattanooga. Number 5. If you hate history, you may not like living in Chattanooga. Chattanooga is steeped in history, whether that's the story of human habitation during the Upper Paleolithic period, commercial development along Ross's Landing, the history of battle in the Civil War, or whether that's the painful remembrance of the removal of the Cherokee people or injustices against people of color. Chattanooga is different than a lot of places, I believe. It doesn't want to ignore or erase the past, but rather it wants to learn from the past in order to create a better future for everyone. So if you love history and want to be part of a growing and thriving community, Chattanooga may be right for you. Number 4. If you hate driving behind people who drive the speed limit, you may not like living in Chattanooga. I know, we're supposed to drive the speed limit, but a lot of people don't. For some reason, there are a lot of folks in Chattanooga who drive the speed limit, and that, pardon the pun, drives me crazy. Recently, I was driving through another state, which I won't mention, Indiana, and people were driving the speed limit in the passing lane. You know, the far left lane where you're supposed to drive over the speed limit. Now, it's not that bad in Chattanooga, but we do have some folks who are literally married to the speed limit. They and the speed limit will be together until death do they part. Now, if you move to Chattanooga and want to drive a lot over the speed limit, then take a trip to Atlanta, where speed limits are more like guidelines. Number 3. If you hate hills and mountains, you may not like living in Chattanooga. Look, I get it. I lived in Florida and in the Midwest, which are relatively flat, and there's something charming about seeing the entire tornado, hurricane, or apocalypse, as opposed to seeing that big, beautiful, protective mountain. And while Chattanooga's Lookout Mountain has an elevation of nearly 2,400 feet, which is a little over 1/10 of Denali, it still gives you a sense of being grounded. True, driving Chattanooga hills and mountains can be a bit of a challenge, and some of our roads are, to be frank, just ridiculous. Like the W Road, but don't tell folks on Signal. Then again, our hills and mountains offer spectacular views of our river and valleys below, views that simply cannot be beaten. Number 2. If you hate living near bodies of water, you may not like living in Chattanooga. Chattanooga is known as the Scenic City, Gig City for our awesome internet speeds, and River City. The Tennessee River played an integral role in the commercial development of the Chattanooga area. The river appears in the city's corporate seal and on the city flag. And there's so much you can do and see on the river and on Chickamauga Lake. It really is a great place if you love boating, water sports, or fishing. So if you love to look at the water, or be in the water, or on the water, living in Chattanooga may be right for you. And number 1, if you hate friendly people, you may not like living in Chattanooga. Okay, it's the South, and friendly is just the way we are. If I had to divide things, I'd say that Southern friendliness is about 20% curiosity, 20% being good-natured, 50% genuine care and concern, and about 10% just being nosy. But that's okay. If you don't like the nosy part, just tell the neighbor stopping by that you've got to feed your giant boa constrictor. Well, maybe you have a giant boa constrictor. People in the South really do want to get to know you, and it's a blessing to have good friends and helpful neighbors. And it's also great when those friends and neighbors take the initiative to welcome you into the community. If you want to see what I love and love not so much about living in Chattanooga, watch this video next. I'm getting that thing over there.